this is something that all content creators will probably eventually learn, but your biggest supporters are your most dangerous, or your biggest fans. I shouldn't say biggest supporters, because a lot of them are not actually supporters. Your biggest fans are your most dangerous liabilities. And when I say biggest fans, trust me, they're not actually your biggest fans, but they may present as a big fan. They may be very vocal. They may be there all the time. They may be doing stuff, and they offer to help out. They kind of like work their way in. And you have to discern, and this is something you can't just do. Like, there's no formula for this. You have to start discerning who's actually genuine, who's not, who's interested in you versus being interested in their presence in your thing. And I'm not talking about Hydro here. Hydro is just a turbo spurg who needs to like moderate himself. But there are some people like who do this, and you don't want to be like that asshole who's like, oh, yeah, I mean, they're just trying to grow off of your brand. Like they don't grow. There's nothing to gain from the brand. There's nothing they get. It's not like they're growing some channel or they're trying to gain some profile. It's just something about like interaction and their presence that people get to know, and it's all good. Like, it's part of it. And it's, let me be very clear. It's on the content creator's responsibility. It's on the content creator's responsibility to guard against this stuff. But there is no guide. There's no guidebook. You can try and listen to other people who've been through it or whatever. But like, eventually, you know, and if you're like me and you're a narcissistic asshole, like, you can even see other people go through it, right? And you can see other people go through it and still go, yeah, but I don't make that mistake or whatever. So people kind of like, they work their way in, they do stuff, and then here's the trick. The difference between people who are for you versus for them is simple. When you do something, either streaming, either show direction, whatever, remember always, for content creators, your show and your life are yours. No amount of super chats or support or help or whatever, even no amount of confidence in someone else, conversation, gives them access to control your thing. But there are people out there who will take that. They will take this thing from you. They will decide that they are the ones who determine what your show should be. Now, a reasonable person, a normal human, people who are not terminally engaged in social media will go, I don't like this thing or this person or this action. And they'll go, peace. And they'll just walk away. And that's something that you, like, everybody should do, right? Everybody should do that. When you don't like something, you know, you may, like, not on the first episode, but if things like are consistently something you don't agree with, you know what? Like, don't sit and be angry about it. Just peace out. It's cool. Great. That's fine. I don't own any audience member. I don't want to. I put out a show, people will watch it or not. That's the trick. But some people, they go, no, this is my thing that I like. I need it. I need it to be this way and not that way. I need this person to be X. Sometimes X is what they love, like, or loved or used to love. And then sometimes X is what they think it should be based on what they've seen. Like, oh, this is the logical progression. And some people have known people in this community who have done this. Like, it's happened in locals, right? I'm not going to name names, but Cynthia was pretty fucking weird. Like, you could be the next Joe Rogan. I'm like, I don't want to be the next Joe Rogan. Like that's not on my agenda. I don't really care to be the next Joe Rogan. But that being said, like fine. But then here's been my sort of issue and struggle. Mein Kampf is this. I, as a live streamer, as a content creator, have tried for 5.5 years to engage the internet openly, candidly, but with integrity and a focus on fun, jokes, comedy. Now, sure, we're going to touch on very, very difficult subjects. We're going to get into really important stuff. Obviously, this matters, right? Like we're in, like I don't want to doom pill and doomsay as I mentioned on the show, but like we're talking about serious shit, law, politics, rights, freedoms, all that stuff. Of course, you're gonna delve into that, but you got to do it with some levity. You got to be able to engage. And one of the things I have tried to be is like open and honest and having integrity with you guys and sharing life. Because I have a fucking weird one. I have a weird life. Homeschooling 5 kids, married 19 years, weird progression through careers into law, and then stumbling into this thing, which is kind of, in a strange way, what I always wanted to do. I always wanted to entertain people and tell stories, but the internet didn't exist in the way that the internet didn't exist in a way to make someone like me in the middle of Minnesota into an entertainer. Like you had to go through the Hollywood or New York channels to get into entertainment. Well, now like that, everything changed and I found my way into it. It's great. So I have these experiences. And then because of that, you go through all sorts of weird shit that you never expect. And sometimes you get into funny, goofy struggles, right? Like where you go on a vacation where mushrooms are legal and you take them, and then your ass is in a different dimension than your brain. And so when you fart, you're worried that you're going to spray a diarrhea cone, dragon breath attack all over the bed. And that'll be gross and weird until you can get a maid there, but you'll still probably be on mushrooms when the maid shows up. And so you're terrified of it. And I think that like this is the funniest thing that I can imagine happening from trying mushrooms. Like this is the time. I never expected this at all. All I expected was to like have goofy hallucinations, not realize that my ass was missing. So like I'll tell the story. Well, the story then morphs into Nick is advocating drugs and a degenerate lifestyle. It's like, oh my Christ, guys, I'm just telling you about something funny that happened to me while I did this thing. And it was silly. Like I was just sharing a joke with you. And when you start to share jokes, people then take those jokes and they take comedy. And this is tying it back into those people who are for them, not for you. They take a joke or a story or an anecdote and they build a narrative about it in their head. And then that narrative becomes reality. And then confirmation bias kicks in. And anything you say at all, ever, joke, not joke, serious, heartfelt story, anything you say, anything you do on any social media platform, because they will follow everything you do. They will do it. And once that happens, nothing you say can break the narrative for them. And that's normally fine. But the person who is in it for them, who uses everything to try and control what you do, will then leverage, they will leverage their narrative over you. And that is when things go too crazy. My problem is in my openness, in my candid, carefree, jokey sort of way, also with a heavy principle on free speech, I let way too many people speak into my life. Way too many people take that false narrative and use it to actively try and harm me and my family. Because I was hoping free speech, levity, honesty, and candor would win the day. But you always forget, or you don't, you guys probably don't, but I always forget and kind of like default to this idea that people aren't generally bad. And then after a certain amount of time, like with me, that we build like a rapport of understanding, that like jokes are okay, comedy is fine, we can have crazy stories in our life, but those stories don't necessarily mean what someone could make of them. And when they do that and they perpetually try and propagate a narrative about you, family, or whatever, you have a couple options. You can take the free speech route, which I did for 5 years, and let people shit talk you. And there's a difference between criticism and having problems with someone and someone who is routinely trying to actively harm you. Like real harm, not shit on you on a comment section. Who fucking cares? There are people who really want to harm you. They think it's a lesson that you'll learn. But then, like, if I just harm him enough, I will cause him to do the thing I want him to do rather than the thing I think he's doing. And that's what I did, like I said, for 5 years, trying to do that, trying to have faith in people. And I made tons of friends, and it's really great. Like I've made very good friends, uh, confidants, people I will talk about with as if I've known them, very personally. But there are some people who do that, who like try and let you in a little bit, and they take advantage of that, and then they try and use it against you. And your other option, like you can weather it and leave it be, or you got to cut them out. Like you just have to fucking cut them out. So, you know, that's that. And look, there's nothing at some point there's nothing you can do, right? Like if you have a certain personality like mine, where I love telling stories, I love those stories to be entertaining and engaging. So, like, I'm going to tell them, I'm going to tell stories. Otherwise, I'm like, well, it's time for political topic B. But I think humanity being interjected into like this thing is fun and interesting. But there are a bunch of people who really want to breed it out of you. They want to push it out of you. They want it to stop. They don't want your human experience, because your human experience, your human experience might disagree with theirs or their opinion, and therefore like somehow that is a problem for what you say outside of the human experience. And people are, look, people can be really fucking shit. It can be really fucking shit. Isn't that what brought them here in the first place? Yeah, it is. That's what I think what brought people in the first place. Some people it was like Johnny Depp or whatever, but like I think people stuck around because of like who I was. But like the idea that that people can, they want to disagree with something you did or said or some story, and again they construct like some concept about you, and then they will run with it forever. It's like, well, it's like just trying to share a story or be fun. Like I want to have a fun thing with you, like it, and it'd be great. And then, but yeah, people will take that and they'll cram it down your fucking throat, and they will like, I can't express the amount of effort people will go to try, like literally to try to harm you, to get you to be something that they want you to be. You don't understand it until you see it. And it's fucking crazy. But again, there are uh, there are like protections that you can take. I just never wanted to take them because it isn't fun. Like, it isn't fun to block people or ban people or do any of those things. None of that is fun. It's the worst shit. No one wants to police a community. Policing a community is like, it literally is shooting yourself in the foot, especially with something like locals. People were like, ban Cynthia forever. And I was like, no, like this is a paying customer of my product. I don't want to ban them. And when I asked locals, I'm like, will you please just make the block function work in the chat? Like, you have a block function, people are using it. So like, can you just make it work in the chat? Because these people are coming in and making the chat unfun, and plenty of people would tune them out if you just let them. And it took them fucking 5 months to do it. And you can see what happened to the chat in that 5 months. The chat used to be 250 to 400 people every night. It's way, way less than what it was. There's no bringing it back. Like, people got fucking tired of this. Thank Jesus for the block function. Yes, but I asked for the block function. I told them it was critical in December. In December, I said, you need to get a block function. And here's why. Because I can go into Scott Adams' chat. I can go into Scott Adams' chat and I can fuck his entire chat up. I can fuck his live streams and he can't kick me out. Because even if Scott Adams removed me from the community and blocked me, until you leave that chat or he closes it and starts a new one, you're still there. There was no function to remove someone from a live chat or a live stream chat. And when you think about that, it's insane. Because someone could have come in and just posted a bunch of child porn and you wouldn't have been able to stop them. That's how broken Locals was. And I tried to communicate that to him. And I said, if you guys don't fucking start working on this, I will show you what can be done by one person, and you will not be able to remove them from the chat. You can ruin an entire community in one day by doing it. And then, like, oh, they'll get blocked for the next stream. Well, guess what? New chat, $5, and you can do it again. If you have a block function that individuals can activate, then like banning them from the community doesn't matter because every individual could block them. They won't, like, them being in the chat just won't matter. And it took them 5 months after me telling them that. And in that 5 months, it literally destroyed this chat. And there's nothing I could do. Like, I was trying. People kept like spamming me to get it done. I'm like, I'm asking them. I am pleading with them to do it. Believe me. It was like, I'm like, I don't want to try and ban my customers, but I would love for my customers, my community, the people that support me to be able to regulate their own chat. And they're like, well, we're working on blah, blah, blah. I'm like, blah, blah, blah isn't important. But anyway, this is all like in this miasma of stuff that has been like, it's extremely stressful. It's frustrating. And again, sure, streamers have a lot of tools to do this, but no one wants to do those things. See you, Illigaf. No one wants to do those things. You don't want to pay someone to do those things. It's the shitty part of it. You just hope that other people will just like that people will naturally filter out, and then the rest of, the people who want to stay around will stay around. But it's crazy. Anyway, but yeah, so I mean, part of the things that I've had to like retool in my head over the past month is identifying stress, identifying frustration, identifying parasitic people, and then making decisions to not, like, people can do and say what they want. I'm not going to stop them, but I also don't have to empower them. I don't have to like platform them. I don't have to give them special access. And it's funny when you do it, because they're like, why'd you do that? You, really? Really? Okay, I guess. No, Mandy, we're not talking about Cynthia. It's more Cynthia's an old dead issue, kind of like her eggs, but um, she was just a relevant example without me having to name anything new, because I really don't want to fucking deal with uh, any of that. It's not like I don't care about drama. I don't want people to like go after anyone. I don't want any of that. Like I just want people to hang around here, have fun, enjoy the show. And if they stop enjoying the show, go somewhere else, like go watch a different show. And this is very easy, right? Like there are plenty of things that I have watched, then those things change. And then you go watch something, like you're like, oh, okay, you go watch something else. But it's the idea, like if something changes and you don't like it, don't like hang around and try and force it into some niche. Like when something is clearly not what you like, you just go. It's fine. That's an okay part of entertainment. It's a great thing to do. Uh, but instead, like there's some people out there who want to force you to be something that either you were or they want you to be, and to do so, they try and actively harm you and your family, your friends, your job, whatever it is. It doesn't matter who it is. Like it's going to be different for each content creator, but man, they really, like, it gets personal and ugly and nasty. And you can let it go and let it affect you, which is what I did, unfortunately. Um, or you can cut it off. It's that's the kind of the change and shift I've had to make recently, because you guys saw, I'm sure, leading up the past couple months were really, really fucking hard for me to like mentally do. They're very stressful and trying. And it's like, this shouldn't be like, this should be normal work stress. Like you have a hard time like finding content and doing that stuff and making good stuff. It should not be real life stress. It should not be people speaking into your life unless you allow that. And I've been against it my whole, the whole fucking time. But eventually, some people want to break you, and if they can, to protect yourself, you have to sometimes change opinions and habits, and that's the way it goes. We can be idealistic all day, but that idealism will have to end. And I mean, if you want to see what breaks down like communities of content creators, it's the same shit. Yeah, critical. You don't have a clue, because I'm being intentionally vague. Because again, it's not about calling someone out. It's not about doing anything to anybody. It's about my personal sort of frame of mind on how I have to deal with people who are doing certain things and acting in certain ways that are trying to cause harm to me. Uh, and maybe they're not trying to cause harm. Like maybe they don't think they're trying to cause harm, but who end up doing stuff that has a potential or the real effect of causing harm in my personal life. So it's, but yeah, because this isn't about other people's actions. It's about my actions and how I deal with stuff, because ultimately I'm responsible for my mental health, right? Like I'm responsible for my way of dealing with things. And like, this is more about helping content creators understand why people deal with things in certain ways. And the funny thing was, so Josh from Kiwi Farms was talking to me. This is months ago. He's talking to me about parasocial relationships. He was talking to me about you guys, specifically in locals. And like my locals community was in this great spot. And like It's crazy. We were all having fun. Everything was ridiculous. Uh, and people were like, it was different. And Josh said this. He said, no one runs their communities this way. And I was like, so? Like I thought that was good. And in honesty, it was. It was very good. It was fun. It was awesome. But here's the problem. No one runs their community this way, not because it's not fun and awesome and great. It's because no one will let them run the community that way. If you run your community in a way that is like fun and lighthearted and open, and people are able to do this stuff, and you interact with people directly, then people take advantage, decide to cause harm. Because people get mad about like a joke. And that joke becomes real to them. And they will not abide it. Is they must force the community to be run like everything else. And I mean, people have talked about it here in locals. They're like, "Oh, you're not in here as much anymore." So, well, no, like it can't. Unfortunately, and I'm trying to build something a little bit different into locals that'll be great. That's the idea. But it can't be what it was. It can't be the like free, crazy, wild chat that it was. It won't get back there. You just people won't let it, because if it starts to get back there, it will get ugly and nasty. And it's like because they cannot abide the idea of people sitting around having fun. And I should know this because as Dick Masterson said, and I've often quoted him on it, when you have too much fun, people get mad. People get angry. And if you think back to what people got angry about, you just got to think back to this locals chat in like November. You got to think back to how this chat was, the live streams were and stuff in November of last year. It's great. It was wild. You never knew what was going to fucking happen. And it was fun. Like it was fun. It was all of the things that the internet was supposed to be. We had like these theme days, like Ass Wednesday, and it was funny. And like everybody was having a good time, except for the cucksent people, where I consent, and then you've got someone going, I don't consent to you guys enjoying yourselves. Like, and that's how it always fucking goes. You cannot have too much fun because someone else isn't. They will always come after you every time. And it's weird. And the problem is there's nothing like you can, like, there's nothing necessarily that I can do as a creator because they came after individuals. The mysterious they, people who were angry came after individuals in the chat. They came after the community before coming after me. And it's all because some level of parasocial relationship. And so if you don't know what that is, this is like getting heavy now. Parasocial relationship is where a relationship is one-sided through a filter, where one person develops an understanding and a knowledge of another person, but the person that they develop the relationship with doesn't really get a chance to know them back. And this is the limitation of like a content creator, right? Like even right now, so there's one of me, and in chat right now there's 122 of you. It's almost impossible for me to know you guys because like you hear me talk, you see my body expressions, you can see my face, like you can tell when I'm being sarcastic or telling a joke because there's all these visual cues that go in with that. All I get is text messages from time to time. Now, if you talk a lot like Panzer Dude, I know you like spiced ham, which is just regular ham. So I'll know that about him, but I don't know much else about Panzer Dude. Other people I'll know more about or less about, depending on how long they've been in the community, how communicative they are. And I try to learn a lot. Maybe I meet people in person. I met a lot of people in Vegas that I, kind of got to know a little bit because you spend some time drinking with them. And and so all of that is great, but there's still a limit as to how much I can learn. Whereas you guys have heard me talking like a fucking idiot for 40 minutes now. There's just a disparate level of connectivity, and it scales up from there, right? Like so that's the parasocial relationship. It's very unequally yoked between the two parties. It doesn't matter. Like, parasocial relationships aren't inherently bad or good. They're just there. It's a product of the thing. And this has happened in all media forever. Like, there are people who believe they know, like Sean Hannity, because they've been watching Sean Hannity for 20 years, and they don't know that Sean Hannity blows dudes behind a Wendy's dumpster, for example. That's a joke, Sean. It's not actually a true statement about you. Well, it might be. I don't know, but I made it up on the fly. Please don't sue me for defamation like Monty did. But they think they know Sean Hannity because they've heard him forever, right? Like, they've been listening to him for 20 years. Great. Uh, that's an okay thing. Now, the trick is when Sean Hannity does something different and then they try and influence his life, his show, his relationships, or whatever. That's when parasocial relationships go from a neutral thing that exists into something that is weaponized. But the weird thing is, like, people develop a parasocial relationship to then leverage it against parasocial relationships. And that was one of the weirdest conversations. I've referenced it a couple times just in passing, but a longtime viewer of the show since at least 2019. This is last year. Probably in that November timeframe. Is right when I was getting my tattoo. I don't remember when that was, but is actually, I think I was at the tattoo convention, or I was driving or in an Uber, and the person was talking to me, and they're like, your interactions with the locals chat, I don't approve of. I was like, what do you mean my interactions? And they're like, you've developed parasocial relationships with people in the locals community, and those people, though, they're gonna harm you. And the crazy thing is, they were kind of right, but they were wrong about who. They were really wrong about who it was. We won't get into the difference, but or like the names again, but they were wrong about who was going to come after me, but they were right that someone was. So, but the thing was, they're like, these parasocial relationships are bad and blah blah blah. And so I'm messaging them on a private message platform, and I had met this person a couple times at like conventions and stuff like that, and they were like, they're super nice, right? They're great, and like I've seen them at conventions, talked to them a few times, hung out, like I know their name and stuff, but that's it. And so then I responded back and I said, okay, which parasocial relationship is correct? Mine with that person or mine with you? Because that was a genuine question. And they said, oh shit, I'm realizing right now that I'm in that parasocial relationship. And I said, yeah, like, we've met very briefly, but I don't like know you, and you definitely don't know me. And so then they said, I'm not going to say anything or make them like cause any trouble. I'm just going to walk away from the community. And I was like, bye. Like, it was nice. Like, I like, you're cool. But that was the end for them. They realized in real time that they were like, this is going to sound weird, and it's not meant to be weird, okay? But they had jealousy over someone else's parasocial relationship. they wanted to control the other person's parasocial relationship without realizing that they were in one themselves. Again, parasocial relationships are completely fucking neutral. They're fine. I have tons of them because you meet a bunch of people, again, online and in person, doesn't matter. And like that's just the way it goes. But the lack of like awareness, and this is what I'm talking about. People deciding that they had a, well, let's put it into what it was. They had a moral problem with their perception of my relationships with people in locals. And this has been all over like Kiwi Farms, and Josh has said they thought I was trying to have sex with people in locals. People made a big deal out about the Vegas show because they thought that that was me organizing like a giant orgy, which is the worst orgy plan that could possibly exist. But again, logic and reason go out the fucking window when like jealousy and envy and all that stuff is involved. It's weird. Like if I wanted to have sex with someone in locals, I would just fly to Still Life's house. That's what I would do. And but like that was the thing. And so this person had decided that I had crossed a moral barrier that they found unacceptable, even though it wasn't true. And because of that, they then were trying to leverage their parasocial relationship with me into being different morally, which is weird because like I'm trying to tell them, I'm like, that isn't happening. Like Ass Wednesday isn't a resume, it's just a joke. So that's not actually occurring. So I don't know how to fix it. I don't know how to not try to have sex with people I'm not trying to have sex with. And I'm like, how do I do that? Like, how do I? And they're like, well, and so I tell them a million times, like, that's not true. It's not real. That's actually just a rumor. That's whatever. And it's like, and 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 they just won't accept that answer. And so, I can't fix something that isn't real because there's nothing to change. And so you like work on trying to like, and this is what I was talking about earlier, you work on trying to change people's perceptions, but once they have it, once they solidify that in their head, then it's over. That's you. So you can't chase it. You cannot do that. And that's the shit that I was like, that kind of got fucking, you get wrapped up in it. And that's what's so goddamn stressful is like, it's not just this thing. It's not just like something someone says one time about you. People go on an active crusade to fuck with your life by running with a narrative that they believe must be true because you must be lying. You must not be what you say you are. You must be what they've decided. And it's like, okay, I guess. So you have to, like, my recent thing, I mentioned my trip was rather revelatory in many ways. One of them is like, sorry, like some people are gonna fucking go. Like you're gonna go. Like go do what you want. I don't care. But some people are gonna have to go when they cross that threshold. And again, it's not people who are critical or who are like, I don't like political shows. Well, fine. Like you don't have to like the political shows, but like eventually you'll choose not to do it. I don't care if people have a criticism of me. I don't care if people have a criticism of my life. But if you like try to cause harm, then like you gotta go. You gotta, and it's for you as much as me. it's like, you can't, like, I cannot let you sit around and be fucking shitty all the time and angry, because, like, go do something else. So Panzer says, a lot of it stems from the fact that typically when people are as open as you've been with your sexcapades and adventures is viewed as an invitation for the people you're sharing that info with. That's weird. That's a weird thing. Is like, you know, like you talk about a funny story or an adventure, and you're like, yeah, you do these things. Like part of it, is, so it, how do I word this? Lead attorney mentioned me on a stream a long time ago. Not a long time ago, several months ago. It's on a stream with someone else, and my name gets brought up out of the blue. He's like, he and his wife, like, he's like Nick Rekieta and his wife, like, still basically have an active sex life after 18 years. He's like, I've been a divorce attorney forever, and he's like, that is rare. That is great. That is like something that, because if you're a family attorney, divorce attorney, like, you find out a lot of times that the intimacy missing from the relationship will lead to the relationship crumbling. There's tons of like literature about this and studies about this, and they find that a lack of intimacy is what breaks down marriages a ton of times. So he was saying, like, this is a good thing. And so, like, you I don't know, for me, talking about some of this stuff is like half trying to let people know, like, counter manosphere, right? Counter red pill bro. You you can have these fun, like, adventures with your spouse, and like, you do, like, try different things. I mean, within reason, right? Like, within reason, uh go out and have fun. Like, I mentioned, like, going to a sex shop or a nude beach or whatever. Like, it's not something you should do every day, but, like, go have fun together as an adventure. Like, those are fine. It's okay to do this. You don't have to have the missionary just for the purposes of procreation, like, weird ultra right wing Catholic thing that is becoming so prevalent on the right, and it's actually terrifying. It is terrifying how the right is starting to treat sexuality, even between partners, like spouses. Like, they're starting to treat it as a taboo thing that is dirty and gross, and I don't think so. I don't think it is. But and so I try and counter that narrative and try and add fun anecdotes, because shit, like, that's my whole, that's been the thing since I was starting here, is like the honesty, the openness, the anecdotal sort of side of things. Like, I can relate to these things from these experiences, and people turned that into, well, it's like a swinger thing, or like a sex craze, like trying to hook up with people in this parasocial thing. It's like, holy shit, like, what are you guys talking about? Like, the funniest thing in the world to me is like some of the stories, but then the stories start to get, like, really personal, and people insist that they're true, and they talk about, like, trying to get to tell your kids about this. It's like, holy shit, like, that's weird. That's weird shit. And that's where things get too fucking far. So it's like, I don't know, man. You share stuff, you try and have fun with people, and try and make it very clear what it's about. And then people just they take it and turn it into something bad. But that's, that's it. This is just a rambling pontification about stuff.